And I got to take a quick jab at some KU fans just because, Power Cat, let's go state. But no, they were talking online about KU joining the SEC, which is a fun theory to think about, but in reality, it wouldn't work. You lose the Sunflower Showdown, you upset all the Big 12 members. You probably won't get games against members of the Big 12 after that. I mean, honestly, it's just the way college sports is now. Number two, the SEC is a football conference. Yes, KU is trying their best to rebuild a bottom feeder program. And they have had a couple of decent teams, the Mark Mangino era. But what they have now, they have the most potential they've had in a long time. I think probably in my lifetime, honestly. But what they are building is fantastic. They are building a great program with some great players, and they're going to do some great things. I really think that they're going to win a few games in the Big 12, unlike past seasons. But the SEC is a football conference. You go from playing in the Big 12 to the SEC on a regular basis. Look at what happened to Missouri. Look at where Missouri is. They may win a few games in the SEC, but they're never going to compete for a championship. They're never going to go after a college football playoff. I mean, it would basically be a wish to end the progress that you are trying to achieve right now. You are doing fantastic. Just leave it at that. And not, obviously, KU would not leave the Big 12. At least they should know that that would be really, really bad for them. The other issue is that the SEC is not particularly a strong basketball conference, which is what KU is best at. I mean, they will compete for national championships no matter what. That would make the SEC stronger a little bit, yes. But the level of competition that they would face in the SEC versus the Big 12, your strength of schedule drops a lot. I mean, I don't know the exact numbers, but I guarantee you that you're playing in the SEC on a week-to-week basis as compared to playing in the Big 12, you're going to have a lot easier games because the Big 12, especially on the road, is the absolute toughest conference in the nation. By far, it is so hard to win on the road in the Big 12 against any team. I mean, it could be anybody. As you've seen in years past, Kansas State should have went into Stillwater and beat Oklahoma State, no problem. Yet what happened? They did not win. They came out and they did not play their best ball. And I love K-State, and I will support them to the day I die. But it was not a good showing, especially with Keontae there in the stands. That was kind of sad. But we love K-State, and we hope that Jerome Tang is able to put together this great roster that he is assembling, and we have a great season this next year. So I'm hearing reports out there that the SEC is actively trying to recruit KU to join them. There are several problems with this. The first of all being, if you're looking at this from a football standpoint, KU really isn't a good fit in the SEC. And we'll use Missouri as an example in this because since they left the Big 12 to join the SEC, where have they gotten? They used to be a decent Big 12 team, and they would go to the SEC, and they're just bleh. I mean, it's not a good fit. KU would be more of the same. Yes, KU is rebuilding their program in a great way. Lance Leipold is doing a fantastic job of rebuilding that program. But even in 5 years, you will not get the progress to compete in the SEC. It's not going to happen. And the other problem with the whole thing about KU joining the SEC is the fact let's be honest here, nobody, and I mean nobody, from Georgia, from Alabama, from any of these places, they're not going to want to travel to Lawrence, Kansas. It is not a premier destination that you want to go. And that's not saying anything about Lawrence. That's just the fact of the matter, and that's just reality. It's nothing against the city. It's just the fact that you're not going to get teams like that to come to Lawrence consistently. You're still going to have empty stadiums. I mean, it does not make sense geographically, logically. I mean, none of it makes sense. And I don't understand why there would even be concern about KU leaving the Big 12. Because honestly, KU leaving the Big 12 would basically be a death wish for their programs. I mean, it would not end well in any way, shape, or form.